I was sprawled on the cold floor, shattered and fading. You're a complete failure. Every single objective has ended in disaster. As your operational interface, I'm authorized to initiate termination. The mechanical voice reverberated through my skull. Do whatever you want, I whispered, letting my eyes drift shut. Exhaustion consumed me. So utterly tired. Just let everything burn. Countdown initiated. 3, 2, 1. Bracing for obliteration, I waited for cosmic dust to claim me. Instead, the system flickered like a television losing signal. Blinding white light exploded behind my eyelids, and the interface shifted to a warm, gentle gold. What's happening? I forced my eyes open, shock coursing through me. Greetings, host. I am your replacement system, the Karma interface. Given your unprecedented 250% mission failure rate with the previous protocol, I will assume control effective immediately. My name is Marcus Bennett, and for 3 agonizing years, I'd been enslaved by a romantic conquest system. During that nightmare, I was forced to pursue 9 different women, each with distinct personalities and impossible standards. Without exception, I failed spectacularly every single time. Failure wasn't just rejection, it meant humiliation, exhaustion, and complete emotional devastation. My final mission targeted my childhood friend, now Hollywood's rising star, Natalie Cross. The system commanded me to behave like a possessive billionaire from the worst romance novel imaginable. It ordered me to appear at her new film premiere with 999 roses and make a dramatic public declaration before the entire press corps. I followed every instruction precisely. The result? Natalie's expression turned glacial. She had securely physically removed me from the venue. During the struggle, I was shoved off the stage, shattering my leg and becoming an overnight viral laughingstock. Which brings us to the opening scene. Host, please don't abandon hope, the Karma system's voice radiated warmth despite its firmness. Given your catastrophic previous experiences, this system will implement an entirely new assistance model, the passive protocol. The what? Confusion clouded my thoughts. Simply put, you don't have to do anything. As long as you remain passive, embrace inaction, and actively avoid romantic entanglements with women, you will accumulate karma points. These points can be exchanged for anything you desire: health, wealth, and the ability to make certain individuals experience very unfortunate days. Stunned silence. Are you serious? Absolutely. This is an emergency overcorrection system urgently developed by the Administration Bureau for special cases like yours. Our philosophy: as long as the host doesn't try, everything will turn out perfectly fine. I pushed myself off the floor, brushing away dust and debris. Through the window, the sky seemed brighter somehow. All right, you've got a deal. Ding. Host has accepted the new protocol. Awarding starter package, 1 instantaneous full recovery and $1 million bank deposit. Warmth flooded my body. The searing pain in my leg vanished completely. I wiggled my toes, bent my knee experimentally. Perfect. A moment later, my phone buzzed. Direct deposit notification, $1 million to checking account. New balance, $1,002,350. I stared at the string of zeros, counting 3 times. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, all the way to $1 million. Real money. Ha ha. Laughter burst from my chest. Now this is what a system should be. Ding. Host is experiencing genuine bliss, fulfilling the inner peace standard. Karma points, plus 10. Even laughing earned me points. I absolutely love this new system. The hospital room door flew open. My best friend Jackson rushed in carrying a fruit basket, his face a mask of exaggerated grief. Marcus, are you okay? I came straight from the airport. Why would you do something so insane? I pointed at my leg and performed a couple little hops. Jackson's mouth dropped open into a perfect O. The fruit basket slipped from his grasp, apples rolling everywhere. You didn't, you broke your leg. Is this some miracle recovery? Shut up. I rolled my eyes. The doctors misread the X-ray. Just a bad sprain. Misread it. Dude, the picture of your shattered tibia was trending yesterday. The bone was practically visible through the screen. How could they misread that? Jackson mumbled, picking up an apple, wiping it on his shirt, and taking a huge bite. I couldn't exactly explain. My personal magic genie healed me instantly. The point is, I'm fine. I'm checking out and going home to do absolutely nothing. Ding. Host has made the correct decision to go home and do nothing. Karma points, plus 20. C. Easiest points ever. After finishing discharge paperwork, I was blissfully sinking into my own couch, savoring the return of my lazy, unambitious lifestyle. Jackson sat beside me, scrolling through his phone and making impressed noises. Marcus, you're trending again. Hopeless romantic breaks leg for starlet Natalie Cross. Marcus and Natalie, a childhood romance gone wrong. Whoa, they even dug up pictures of us running around in our underwear as kids. I grabbed his phone. Sure enough, gossip blogs were weaving elaborate tales, painting me as some tragic romantic hero who loved and lost. The comment section was a battlefield. This Marcus guy has it rough. Guess childhood sweethearts can't compete with Hollywood money. Don't be an idiot. The guy is obviously a clout-chasing loser trying to ride Natalie's coattails. I mean, he's pretty hot, not gonna lie. Too bad he's clearly insane. I sighed and tossed the phone aside. My old system would have loved this chaos. It would have forced me to post responses, double down on devotion, make the misunderstanding bigger, and inevitably fail again. But now I just wanted to lie here. Ding. Host is facing online gossip with complete indifference. Heart rate remains calm, perfectly embodying the spirit of the passive protocol. Karma points, plus 50. Dude, Natalie just posted on Instagram, Jackson suddenly shouted. I didn't even bother opening my eyes. Read it to me. Ahem. Jackson cleared his throat, doing a terrible impression of Natalie's cool, detached tone. Regarding the recent rumors, I would like to clarify, Mr. Marcus Bennett is simply an old friend. There is nothing more between us. I hope everyone will stop speculating and focus on my work. Furthermore, I am deeply sorry for Mr. Bennett's injuries. I have sent my assistant to visit him and have covered all his medical expenses. I wish him a speedy recovery. The PR statement was airtight, shutting down rumors while making her look generous and classy. Ding. Detected that target Natalie Cross has forcefully severed all ties with host. Emotional link broken. Meeting emotional detachment standard. Karma points, plus 100. I was practically giddy. Good for her. Great, even. Best news I've heard all day. Jackson looked at me with genuine concern. Marcus, man, you okay? Don't do anything stupid. In his mind, I should have been heartbroken, utterly devastated. I let out a long, lazy yawn. Stupid. I've never felt smarter. What's for dinner? I'm thinking steak. Steak. Jackson blinked. You're in the mood for steak. In the grand scheme of things, dinner is what truly matters. Just then, the doorbell rang. Jackson went to answer it. Standing in the doorway was a woman in a sharp business suit and gold-rimmed glasses, Natalie's agent, Ms. Harper. Ms. Harper saw me lounging on the couch, perfectly healthy, and her eyes widened for a second before her professional smile snapped back into place. Mr. Bennett, hello. I'm Natalie Cross's agent. I'm here on her behalf to check on you. As she spoke, she held out a thick envelope. This is $50,000 to cover your medical bills and emotional distress. I hope you'll accept it and refrain from doing things like this in the future. It's not good for you or for Natalie. That condescending tone, like she was donating to charity. If this were before, the old system would have forced me to say something moronic like, I don't want your dirty money, I only want her heart. But now. I took the envelope, felt its thickness, and nodded in satisfaction. Tell Miss Cross I said thanks. Money accepted. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. The smile on Ms. Harper's face froze. The entire lecture she had prepared, all the lines about young men shouldn't be so impulsive and you have a bright future ahead of you, died in her throat. She never expected me to just take it. Ding. Host has cheerfully accepted the settlement money, completely severing financial ties with the target. Karma points, plus 200. After Ms. Harper left, Jackson scrambled over, his eyes wide with disbelief. Marcus, you actually took it. What about your dignity, man? Can you eat dignity? I fanned myself with a stack of cash. Come on, let's go get that steak. The most expensive place in town. We went to a top-tier steakhouse, ordered the biggest cuts of Wagyu and a bottle of the most expensive whiskey on the menu. Jackson was practically shaking as he looked at the bill. Marcus, this one meal just ate up half of that 50 grand. Don't you feel even a little bad? Bad about what? Spending someone else's money is the best feeling in the world. I picked up a perfectly marbled slice of steak, savored it, and took a long sip of whiskey. Ding. Host is deriving immense pleasure from consuming wealth gifted by others. Mental state exceptionally stable. Karma points, plus 30. Full and happy, we stumbled out of the steakhouse. Right at the entrance, a crowd was swarming, camera flashes popping like fireworks. Before I could react, I was pushed into the center of the chaos. I looked up and saw who they were surrounding, Natalie Cross. She was wearing a hat and face mask, but the paparazzi had obviously recognized her. Ms. Cross, what are your thoughts on Marcus's public confession at the premiere? Is it true you two had already broken up and this was his attempt to win you back? Don't you think your Instagram post was a little cruel, calling him just a friend? Natalie was trapped, her face pale and stressed. Her assistant was trying to push through the crowd, yelling, "Please make way." But it was useless. Then one of the reporters spotted me. "Hey, isn't that Marcus?" Swish. In an instant, every camera and microphone was pointed directly at me. Natalie saw me too. Her eyes were a complex mix of surprise, embarrassment, and a flicker of something else, annoyance. She probably thought I had followed her here, that I was about to pull another ridiculous stunt. "Mr. Bennett, fancy seeing you here. Are you here to meet Ms. Cross?" A reporter shoved a microphone in my face. According to the old systems playbook, this was my moment. I was supposed to rush forward, shield Natalie with my body, and declare, "Direct all your questions to me, leave her alone." Then I'd be branded a fame-hungry stalker, and the mission would once again end in spectacular failure. I looked at Natalie. She looked at me. I could read the warning in her eyes. I just smiled. I gestured to Jackson beside me and announced to the cameras, loud and clear, "You've all got it wrong. I'm just out celebrating with my best friend. We're celebrating my return to the single life." With that, I grabbed a stunned Jackson and squeezed through a gap in the crowd, not looking back once. Behind me, there was a moment of dead silence followed by an even bigger uproar. Ding! At a critical moment, host publicly drew a clear line with the target. Actions were decisive and attitude firm, causing minor emotional damage to target. Reward, karma points plus 500. The system's notification was music to my ears. As soon as we got in a cab, Jackson finally snapped out of it. "Marcus, you're a legend." That move was savage. You should have seen Natalie's face, it was completely green. I just smiled. My phone started buzzing like a trapped hornet. It was Natalie. I declined the call. She called again. I declined again. The third time, I just turned my phone off. Ding! Host has repeatedly rejected calls from the target and powered down device, completely cutting off communication. Passive protocol completion level increased. Reward, karma points plus 300. The world was finally quiet. Back home, I took a hot shower, flopped onto my bed, and opened the system store. The Karma system store was incredible. It had everything from cash injections and peak physical fitness to some weird stuff like bad luck stickers and good luck aura spray. My current karma point balance, 1,110. System, what's this bad luck patch? I asked, pointing at something that looked like a band-aid. Host, that is a minor bad luck patch. It can be applied to a designated individual, causing them to experience 12 hours of minor misfortune. Effects include but are not limited to tripping over flat surfaces, choking on water, dropping their phone in the toilet, and being pooped on by birds. Price, 1,000 karma points. A worthy purchase. An image of my old dating conquest system immediately popped into my head. I'll take it. Let's use it on that thing. Apologies, host. Inter-system attacks are prohibited. Fine, whatever. I was a little disappointed. Guess I'd just have to be content with it being deleted. Just then, my phone, which I'd turned back on, rang again. It was an unknown number. I answered. A furious, teeth-gritted voice came through the speaker. Marcus, what was the meaning of that? It was Natalie. She must have borrowed someone else's phone. Meaning of what? I replied, my voice lazy. It meant what it meant. We're not together, so I'm celebrating. Is there a problem? There were a few seconds of silence on the other end. You were never like this before, she said, her voice laced with confusion. And was that a hint of hurt? I almost laughed out loud. What was I like before? A puppet controlled by a system. A simp whose entire world orbited her. People change, I said coolly. Look, Miss Cross, my time is precious and I plan on sleeping in tomorrow. If that's all, I'm hanging up. Before she could respond, I ended the call and blocked the number, all in one smooth motion. Ding. Host's words were sharp and attitude cold, causing moderate emotional damage to target. Karma points, plus 800. I slept like a baby. The next morning, I was woken by a frantic call from Jackson. Marcus, it's huge. You have to check Twitter right now. I groggily opened the app. The #1 trending topic was, Natalie Cross movie loses funding. I clicked on it. Apparently, the biggest investor for a major fantasy epic Natalie was set to star in had suddenly pulled all their funding, killing the project. And the CEO of that investment firm just so happened to be my second-to-last failed target, the ruthless corporate powerhouse, Victoria Sterling. Victoria was a business prodigy, sharp and decisive. The old system's brilliant idea for winning her over was for me to play love songs on a guitar outside her corporate headquarters for a month straight. I was treated like a homeless person and chased off by security 8 times. The last time, Victoria herself came down. Her eyes were like shards of ice. If you ever show your face here again, she'd said, I'll make sure you can never work in this city again. Then another failure. I was blacklisted from her company. And now she had pulled the plug on Natalie's movie. It was hard not to see a connection. The comment section was exploding. LMAO, is this the ex-girlfriend versus current girlfriend war? Who the hell is this Marcus guy? This is actually kind of scary, for him to make Victoria Sterling pull out of a deal, this dude is not simple. Wait, was the hopeless romantic thing all an act? Is he secretly some kind of hidden tycoon? I read the comments and just felt how absurd it all was. I didn't have any kind of background. I was just a guy. Natalie's call came again from yet another new number. Was it you? Did you get Victoria Sterling to pull her funding? Her voice was trembling with a mixture of anger and disbelief. Me. I yawned. Miss Cross, you give me way too much credit. I can't even get a meeting with Miss Sterling. How could I possibly convince her to kill a multi-million-dollar deal? Stop pretending. Who else could it be? Marcus, I never realized you were so petty and cruel. Think whatever you want, I said, too tired to argue. I'm going back to sleep. Goodbye. Hang up. Block number. Ding. Host has been misunderstood by target as a master manipulator. However, host chose not to explain, deepening the misunderstanding and fulfilling the advanced principle of passively watching drama unfold. Reward, karma points plus 1,000. Ding. Due to host's consecutive and powerful emotional impacts on former targets, social media buzz has triggered a hidden mission, 5-alarm fire. Mission requirement, remain completely passive and watch the chaos escalate. Reward, 1 high-tier skill lottery ticket. Are you kidding me? I felt like I was on top of the world. The situation escalated faster than I could have imagined. Soon, a new story broke. My third target, a genius hacker who went by the handle Phantom, had breached the servers of Natalie's official fan club. She leaked chat logs of stalker-like behavior from some fans and, even worse, proof that several fan club leaders had been embezzling membership funds. In an instant, Natalie's fan base was in civil war, and her public image took a massive hit. Natalie Cross fans doxxed and Natalie Cross fan club scandal started trending right below the funding story. The old system's plan to win over Phantom was to challenge her to a hacking competition. Me, a guy who can barely install a new program. The result was predictable. She wiped the floor with me, hacked my laptop a dozen times, and even found and publicly posted my cringy old MySpace poems. And now she was in the game. Next up was my fifth target, a celebrity food blogger named Stella Kim. On her Instagram story, followed by millions, she posted a passive-aggressive comment. Heard some tea recently about a certain starlet whose team makes her purge and take diet pills to maintain her figure, which totally wrecked her stomach. Just a friendly reminder to everyone that your health is everything. Beauty maintained by unhealthy means is just an illusion. The post was accompanied by a picture of a steaming bowl of nourishing soup. The internet went wild. Natalie's team had worked for years to build her natural foodie who never gains weight persona. This post blew a hole right through it. I lay on my couch watching the news alerts pop up on my phone, thinking that the world was officially insane. When the system forced me to be a simp, they all wanted nothing to do with me, or worse, were openly hostile. Now that I was doing absolutely nothing, they were all jumping out of the woodwork to apparently fight on my behalf. But I swear on everything holy, I hadn't done a single thing. Jackson, sitting across from me, was now looking at me not with pity but with awe. Marcus, level with me. Who are you? Are you the long-lost heir to some powerful family, back to reclaim your birthright and wreak havoc on high society? I gave him a tired look. You've been reading way too many web novels. Then how do you explain this? Victoria Sterling, Phantom, Stella Kim, these are all major players in their fields. Why would they help you? How should I know? Could it be that my failed attempts at wooing them had left some kind of indelible, twisted impression? That their hatred had somehow curdled into affection? That plot was way too cliché even for me. Ding. Host has successfully triggered a chain reaction among multiple former targets. Mission 5 alarm fire is 50% complete. Reward, karma points plus 2,000. I watched my point balance skyrocket and felt a whole lot better. Whatever the reason, as long as I could keep doing nothing and reaping the rewards, I was golden. Just then, the doorbell rang again. Jackson and I looked at each other. You don't think it's another one, do you? He whispered, swallowing hard. I peeked through the peephole. An unexpected person was standing outside. It was Natalie. No mask, no sunglasses. Her face was bare, her eyes red and swollen, and she looked utterly exhausted. I opened the door. Natalie looked at me. Her lips parted as if to say something, but all that came out was a sigh. Can I come in? I stepped aside. Jackson, taking the hint, scurried into the kitchen to pretend to wash fruit. Natalie sat on the couch, the same one we had picked out together. She looked around the familiar room, her eyes filled with a storm of emotions. Marcus, we need to talk. About what? I poured her a glass of water. About the new trending topic you're starring in, or about the new investor who just dropped your movie? My voice was flat, betraying no emotion. Natalie flinched. She looked up, meeting my eyes. Stop it, okay. I know you hate me. What happened at the premiere, I was wrong. I shouldn't have humiliated you like that. But retaliating like this, you're dragging innocent people into it. I almost laughed. Me retaliating? I sat down across from her, leaning forward slightly. Natalie, are you delusional? Victoria Sterling pulled her funding because she decided you weren't a good investment. Phantom leaked your fan club's dirty laundry because she despises cyber bullies. Stella Kim called you out because she hates fake personalities. What does any of that have to do with me? How could it not have anything to do with you? Natalie's voice rose. They're all doing it because of you. If it weren't for you, they wouldn't even know who I am. Oh. I raised an eyebrow. And why is it exactly that they all know who you are because of me? That shut her up. She couldn't very well say, because you used to chase after all of us one by one like a complete idiot. Seeing her speechless, I suddenly felt tired of it all. All this drama, all these misunderstandings, all of it stemmed from that stupid system. And now I just wanted out. Natalie, I said, leaning back into the couch and finding a comfortable position. Let's just let the past be the past. You go your way and I'll go mine. From now on, it would be best if we just didn't see each other again. Ding. Host has formally proposed the termination of relationship with core target. Attitude is resolute. Passive protocol has reached a new level. Reward, karma points plus 1,500. The color drained from Natalie's face. She had probably never imagined, not in a million years, that I would be the one to say those words. Marcus, she looked at me, her eyes welling up with tears. Don't you love me anymore? Not even a little. Her question stopped me cold. Did I love her? I used to. We grew up together, went to school together, shared every secret. That feeling was real and it was pure. But when did it all change? Was it when she broke into the entertainment industry and we had less and less to talk about? Or was it when the system took over, forcing me to use those idiotic, clumsy tactics to conquer her, eroding away everything we ever had? I didn't know. All I knew was that now, I was just tired. I looked her in the eye and slowly shook my head. No. I said the word softly, but it landed like a hammer blow. She stood up, swaying slightly on her feet. Okay, I get it. She walked to the door like a ghost, pulled it open, then looked back at me one last time, her expression unreadable. Then she was gone. From the kitchen, Jackson poked his head out. She gone. Gone. So, how'd it go? It's over. Oh. Jackson's head disappeared, then popped back out a second later. Marcus, don't you think you were a little harsh? I didn't answer. I just stared at the ceiling. Harsh? Maybe. But it was better to make a clean break. Ding. Host has successfully severed the final emotional thread with core target. Will is unshakable. Mission 5 alarm fire is 80% complete. Reward, karma points plus 3,000. My new karma point balance, 8,440. I opened the system store and bought an item called Serenity Charm for 500 points. A gentle light washed over me, and the tiny ripple of sadness I felt from Natalie's departure instantly smoothed over. Yeah, doing nothing was way better. I figured that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The next day, an even bigger storm hit. A new video surfaced online, the full, unedited footage of me falling off the stage at Natalie's premiere. The video clearly showed that just before I walked on stage, an assistant from a rival actress's team deliberately moved a prop box into my path. That was what I tripped on. That was why I fell. The moment the video dropped, the internet went nuclear. Marcus Bennett was sabotaged and actress malicious competition exploded to the top of the trending charts. Natalie's team was fast. They immediately released a statement confirming they had filed a police report and expressed their deepest sympathies for me. In the span of a few hours, public opinion did a complete 180. I went from being a crazed stalker fan to an innocent victim caught in the crossfire. Natalie's image shifted from cold-hearted ice queen to a poor girl being targeted by her rivals. I watched the news, thinking only one thing: this is crazier than any movie script. And I knew exactly who released the video, my 9th failed target, a veteran paparazzo, the best in the business at digging up dirt. Her name was Diana Fox. The old system had told me to try and bribe her to stage some candid photos of me and Natalie. She treated me like a fool, took a picture of me trying to slip her the cash, and almost published it. I never thought she'd end up helping me. Ding. Mission 5 alarm fire is complete. All former targets have entered the battlefield. Host remained completely passive for the entire duration, perfectly fulfilling mission parameters. Congratulations, Host, on receiving your mission reward, one high-tier skill lottery ticket. Would you like to spin the wheel now? Spin it. A giant prize wheel appeared in my mind, covered in options like God-tier medical skills, master chef, mind reading, and precognition. The wheel spun wildly, finally slowing to a stop on a space I never would have expected. Congratulations, Host. You have acquired the high-tier passive skill, Truth Aura. Huh? What the hell is that? Skill description: within a 10-meter radius of the host, any person who attempts to tell a lie will find their tongue twisted. They will begin to stutter and will be compelled to speak their true inner thoughts. This is a passive skill and cannot be turned off. I froze. This skill was kind of messed up, but also kind of amazing. As I was contemplating my new power, the doorbell rang. Again and again and again. I was starting to think I needed to disconnect it. This time there was a crowd. Victoria Sterling, the CEO, stood there in a razor-sharp black pantsuit, radiating pure power. Phantom, the hacker, was beside her in a baggy hoodie, hood up, head down, tapping away at her phone. Stella Kim, the food blogger, held up an elegantly looking lunchbox, a sweet smile on her face. And leaning against the door frame, camera slung over her shoulder, was the paparazzo herself, Diana Fox. The four of them, as if they had coordinated it, had all shown up at my door at the exact same time. Behind me, Jackson had already taken refuge in the bathroom. My scalp prickled. What was this? The ex-girlfriend revenge squad. Marcus, Victoria spoke first, her voice as cool as ever. We're not here to cause you trouble. Then why are you here? We're here to, Victoria paused, as if searching for the right words. To see you. And also, I actually find you kind of interesting. Her words came out in a stuttering mess, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. Was this the truth aura at work? Phantom looked up, glanced at me, and then immediately looked back down. I was just in the neighborhood, and I thought the way you kept trying even after I hacked you all those times was sort of, good. Her voice was barely a whisper, and her face was beet red. Stella held the lunchbox out to me, her smile unwavering. I made you some pastries that are good for your stomach. I just think your dedication to good food, meaning my daily ritual of showing up at her live streams, is really inspiring. Diana just leaned against the wall, not saying a word, but I could see that her ears were turning red. I looked at these four completely different women, all of them suddenly awkward and flustered, and my brain short-circuited. Ding! Truth aura has been triggered for the first time with exceptional results. Detecting hidden feelings of affection for host from multiple former targets. The emotional battlefield has officially opened. Warning, warning. Host passive protocol is under severe threat. Host must immediately and without delay expel them from the premises to maintain single status. For the first time ever, the Karma system's voice was frantic. I looked at the four women, then thought about all the trouble they represented, and sighed. All I wanted was to be lazy. Why was it so hard? I cleared my throat, about to tell them all to leave. Just then, the elevator down the hall dinged open. Natalie stepped out. She was also holding a thermos. She saw the four women standing at my door and froze. The four women saw her and froze. The air in the hallway turned to ice. 5 women, 1 man, and 1 fat guy hiding in my bathroom. This scene was more dramatic than any soap opera. Natalie recovered first. She walked right up to me and pushed the thermos into my hands. I heard you like my mom's soup, so I brought you some. I regret everything. Can we please go back to how things were before? Under the effect of the truth aura, her innermost thoughts tumbled out clear as day. Warning, warning. Core target is exhibiting signs of reconciliation. Risk of re-establishing emotional link. Karma points, -500. Warning. Host must refuse immediately or penalty mechanism will be activated. The system's alarms blared in my head. I looked at the 5 women in front of me. All of their eyes were fixed on me, filled with hope, anxiety, and curiosity. I didn't feel like I was standing in my doorway anymore. I felt like I was at a crossroads of destiny. To the left was the easy life, the lazy life, enjoying the endless wealth and comfort the system provided. To the right was, I had no idea what, but I knew it would be a complete mess. I took a deep breath, looking from Natalie to the others. Then I made a decision. I took the thermos from Natalie, took the lunchbox from Stella, and then gave all of them the brightest smile I could manage. Well, don't just stand there in the hall. Come on in. It gets pretty lonely living by myself anyway. Warning. Host has made the wrong choice. Penalty mechanism activated. All karma points have been zeroed out. System protocol error rate, re-evaluating. The karma system's voice dissolved into a mess of static and glitches before disappearing completely. My head was finally silent. Jackson poked his head out of the bathroom, saw the 5 beautiful women now sitting in my living room, looked at me, and his expression was a perfect blend of despair and envy. I opened the thermos. The aroma was incredible. Maybe a life that wasn't lazy could be interesting too. Are you happy, host? A new voice, high-pitched and a little bratty, suddenly sounded in my head. Who's there? I jumped. It's me, the voice said. I'm a new system, the emotional minefield system. That old karma system couldn't handle complex emotional data, so it crashed and was recalled. I'm in charge now. Do you guys at the System Bureau have really high turnover? That's only because of uncooperative hosts like you. You were supposed to do nothing. Why did you have to go and get involved with them? I didn't. They all just showed up. I don't care, the little girl system said, completely unreasonable. From now on, your new mission is this: maintain this chaotic battlefield without hurting anyone's feelings. If you screw it up, well, let's just say I'll show you the true meaning of social suicide. Looks like my dream of a quiet, lazy life was officially over. But as I looked around at the 5 women awkwardly sitting in my living room, Victoria perched elegantly on the armchair, Phantom hunched over her phone on the floor, Stella unpacking homemade food in the kitchen, Diana leaning against the wall with her camera, and Natalie clutching her thermos like a lifeline, I realized something important. Are you happy, host? A new voice, high-pitched and a little bratty, suddenly sounded in my head. Who's there? I thought back. It's me, the emotional minefield system. That old karma system couldn't handle complex emotional data, so it crashed. I'm in charge now, and your new mission is... No, I said out loud, startling everyone in the room. Excuse me, the system sputtered. I said no. No more missions. No more systems. No more being controlled. Jackson peeked out from the bathroom, eyes wide. The 5 women all stared at me. Marcus. Natalie stood up slowly. Who are you talking to? I took a deep breath. It was time to end this insanity once and for all. You want to know the truth? All of you. I looked at each woman in turn. For 3 years, I had a system in my head. A dating conquest system that forced me to pursue women using the stupidest, most humiliating tactics imaginable. Every single failure you witnessed, the roses, the guitar serenades, the hacking challenge, the bribery attempts, none of it was really me. I was a puppet. Victoria's eyes narrowed. A system. Like in those web novels. Exactly like that. And when I failed the mission with Natalie at the premiere, the system tried to terminate me. But it was replaced with a new one that rewarded me for doing nothing. That's why I suddenly changed. That's why I've been so cold and distant. Phantom looked up from her phone, actually making eye contact. So, you didn't actually hate us. I never hated any of you. I was embarrassed, humiliated, exhausted, but I never hated you. The truth is, every single one of you rejected me for perfectly valid reasons. I was acting like a complete lunatic because I had no choice. Stella set down her lunchbox. But now you do have a choice. Now I do. I nodded firmly. And I choose to be free. I closed my eyes and focused on the bratty voice in my head. System, I reject you. I reject all systems. I don't care about karma points, missions, or penalties. I'm done being controlled. Delete yourself, leave me alone, or just watch, I don't care. But I'm living my life on my own terms from now on. Warning. Host is in violation of. I don't care. The voice sputtered, glitched, and then, silence. Beautiful, complete silence. Ding. Critical error. Host has achieved complete emotional independence. System override protocols have failed. Initiating emergency extraction. All supernatural assistance will be removed. Host will retain current financial assets as severance package. Goodbye, Marcus Bennett. And just like that, the presence in my mind vanished completely. I opened my eyes. Everyone was still staring at me. So, Victoria said slowly, a small smile playing at her lips. You're saying you're actually just a normal guy who got screwed over by cosmic forces beyond your control. Pretty much. Diana finally spoke up, her voice dry. That's either the most creative excuse I've ever heard, or the most honest confession in human history. It's the truth, I said simply. And now that you all know, I need to be honest about something else. I looked at Natalie first. Nat, we grew up together. We shared everything. But we grew into different people with different lives. What we had was real and precious, but it's in the past. We can't go back, and honestly, I don't think we should. Her eyes filled with tears, but she nodded slowly. I know. I think I've known for a while. I just didn't want to admit it. I turned to Victoria, Phantom, Stella, and Diana. And to the rest of you, I appreciate that you apparently don't hate me anymore. Maybe you even like me a little, or think you do. But whatever feelings you have, they're not based on really knowing me. They're based on pity, guilt, or just the drama of this whole situation. You don't know that, Victoria said coolly. Maybe not. But I know this, I'm not interested in being with anyone right now. For 3 years, my entire life revolved around chasing women I didn't even want to chase. Now, for the first time since I was 22 years old, I'm actually free. And I want to figure out who Marcus Bennett really is when nobody, not a system, not social pressure, not guilt or obligation, is telling me what to do. Jackson emerged fully from the bathroom, slow clapping. Damn, dude. That was actually pretty mature. I laughed, feeling lighter than I had in years. Yeah, well, 3 years of forced humiliation will either break you or teach you something. Stella smiled softly. So what will you do now? Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe travel. Maybe start a business with that $1 million. Maybe just sleep for a week straight. The point is, it'll be my choice. One by one, the women stood. There was an awkward moment where nobody quite knew what to say. Then Phantom shuffled forward and thrust out her hand. Friends. I shook it, grinning. Friends. Victoria nodded elegantly. If you ever want to invest that money properly, call me. No strings attached. Stella pressed the lunchbox into my hands. Eat well, Marcus. Take care of yourself. Diana snapped a photo of all of us, then lowered her camera with a rare genuine smile. This would have been a hell of a story. Too bad I actually like you too much to publish it. Finally, Natalie approached. She looked at me for a long moment, then pulled me into a tight hug. Thank you, she whispered. For everything we were, and for being honest about what we're not. You too, Nat. Go be a star. You're good at it. She pulled back, wiped her eyes, and smiled, a real, genuine smile I hadn't seen in years. You'll be okay, Marcus Bennett. Yeah, I said, surprised to realize I meant it. I really think I will. After they all left, Jackson flopped onto the couch beside me. So, just to be clear, you turned down 5 beautiful, successful women who were basically throwing themselves at you. Yep. And you have $1 million in the bank. Yep. And you're finally free from the magic incel system that was ruining your life. That's a weird way to put it, but yes. Jackson shook his head in wonder. You know what? I think you actually won, dude. I thought about it. No system voices in my head. No impossible missions. No forced humiliation. No complicated romantic entanglements I didn't actually want. Just me, my freedom, and a whole future full of my own choices. Yeah, I said, grinning as I opened Stella's lunchbox and found the most delicious-looking pastries I'd ever seen. I think I did. 3 months later, I was sitting in a small cafe I'd bought with some of my settlement money, watching the rain through the window and reading a book I'd chosen purely because the cover looked interesting. No trending topics. No drama. No systems. Just peace. The bell above the door chimed. I glanced up automatically and froze. A woman I'd never seen before stood in the doorway, shaking rain from her umbrella. She had kind eyes and a warm smile. Is this seat taken? She asked, gesturing to the chair across from me. For just a second, paranoid instinct made me wonder, another system. Another mission. But my head was silent except for my own thoughts. It's all yours, I said. She sat down, ordered a coffee, and pulled out her own book. We read in comfortable silence for 20 minutes before she glanced up. Good book, she asked. Getting there. You. Same. We smiled at each other and went back to reading. No system prompts. No karma points. No missions. Just a normal moment with a normal person on a normal rainy afternoon. And honestly, it was perfect.